Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Marielle, back at it again with another YouTube video. And today we have our guest star.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Willie, and today I'm going to be kind of co-starring on my girlfriend's channel to offer my perspective as a first-year medical student to just talk about a couple things and how the year has been going.
Yeah. So a little bit of an update. Unfortunately, due to COVID restrictions, a lot of things had to change. So everything went virtual, everything went online. I couldn't live at the graduate dorm that I was living at Loyola. So Willie actually got accepted here.
Yes, I did, at University of Illinois, College of Medicine. So this is my first year, and I can't wait to share a lot of interesting stuff with you guys, and not so interesting, considering, Zoom.
I actually got the chance to find an internship here at a hospital where I am interning with geriatric psychiatric patients. So it's been a very fulfilling, worthwhile experience for me since I've been here. And this is both of our first times living with a significant other in an apartment. And it's been very interesting, and we've just been able to grind out in school together and have the support of each other throughout this whole entire process, so it's been great. So we just wanted to share a little bit of insight about our first full semester on Zoom as a Master's of Social Work student and
a first-year medical student. So I found out I got accepted around, it was like late spring, so I was really excited. I was actually in the middle of an interview, so I was like,
for
wow,
another school.
Right? We won't talk about what this school is because I don't want to, but yeah, I was in the middle of an interview and I found out. I was just like, I could care less about the interview because this is my dream school, and
it's in Illinois.
Yes, so of course now I can stay with my baby here. And I started school, kicked it off in August, and they had let us know through the emails that everything was going to be online. So I'm like, dang, I worked so hard, like I busted my butt to get into medical school, only for the first year to basically be online. And it really sucked because, our school offers so many kind of cool programs and things that other schools may not have, such as having the ability to go to a clinic once or twice a month to kind of shadow and work with physicians and do HPIs and histories and stuff on patients. And we didn't really have that opportunity because a lot of clinics and stuff don't want to kind of take the liability of having volunteers and everything like that. So it is unfortunate to, kind of miss out on that opportunity, but we kicked off school in August, and that's when we started our first block of information, which was like a lot of biochemistry, a lot of boring stuff, review mainly, and knocked that exam out in about September, October-ish, like late September, and then we went into block 2 where we went over like pathology, diseases, and everything like that, and that was a lot of fun. I really love that because that's kind of like, for my pre-meds and medical students, residents, physicians, fellows, that's what we love about medicine. A lot of us, we really love like the kind of hands-on, that really kind of close, kind of like hard medicine that makes us realize like this is why we're doing this. And so that was a lot of fun, and I just finished that exam this Friday. I actually got a really good score on that. I'm really happy about that. So that's just kind of a little quick summary of how my year has been going. To, I guess, put in a little more detail about Zoom and everything. All the classes have been on Zoom. We haven't had any classes in person. But one cool thing is our College of Medicine is still open, at least for, like the study rooms are still accessible, the library is still accessible. Of course, we still have to social distance and, keep 6 feet apart. And if you're in an open study area, you still have to have a mask on. But as long as you're in a study room or you're in an enclosed area, it is okay to have your mask off. We do have screening guidelines in place, having your fever checked every day you walk into the College of Medicine, and just several other things just to make sure that the faculty and students are safe, and to try to keep everything as low as possible when it comes to COVID. And speaking of that, like I think we got the Pfizer vaccine out and ready to go now, so that's like really awesome, you know. So let's see how that goes. Really looking forward to that, and hopefully it, you know, it helps things. But to kind of transition into my highs and lows of Zoom University, this should be interesting. So I'll definitely have to say for my highs, I am a very visual learner, and I learn very good on my own and at my own pace. So to actually, and this is very unpopular opinion, so I'm ready for the comment section, but for my opinion, I have actually really enjoyed Zoom University because it lets me literally, like, I literally have the opportunity to be able to go to lecture online and be working on Anki flashcards while I'm in that lecture, just in case like the lecture is not helpful or
and Willie will explain what Anki is later on.
Yes, definitely. Anki's just a software flashcard app that's, you know, just basically a software version of flashcards, just making everything easier. It's kind of a better version of Quizlet too, just because even though the interface is a little more rough and everything like that, you can do so much more with it. But definitely I'll talk about that later. But yeah, you know, I am a very visual learner, so it's just been so much more flexibility with having lectures online. Like, I can literally be cooking food while I'm in lecture, especially when the professor's going off on a tangent. And it just gives me so much more room to just kind of learn at my own pace and not feel so obligated to have to go to an in-person lecture, and also not necessarily disrespectful to the professors too for not attending that lecture. You know, it's a lot easier to show up and only see 30 people out of 66 in an online classroom than it is to see 30 people out of 66 in a physical classroom. It's like, wow, it's like a lot of people missing. And I think another high has just been getting to spend, you know, this is a little gushy, but just being able to spend more time with my girlfriend, even though we still haven't been able to spend really that much time together, because when she's at an internship, I'm studying. When I'm studying, she's at internship. So it's, you know, it's a lot of work being in the healthcare field and studying. Studying medicine and social work takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication, but still we have been able to really kind of, just build our relationship, enjoy time with each other, and also I've been able to use this time to just kind of focus more on myself, self-growth, doing a lot more reading of books that I would definitely love to share with you guys at another time or another video, and just really like taking time for self-care as well as care with my significant other, friends, family. This has definitely been the time to foster those relationships. And then on the other side of things, with the lows, it's still Zoom University, so it does still suck, and going to lectures online, although it is beneficial for me as a learner, it does come with some downsides, like it being boring and dull, and with COVID and everything, it really limits where you can go to really kind of get the full experience. You know, it's one thing to go to Zoom University while you're at your apartment or home where you do everything else, versus having the flex, like my capability to actually go to my College of Medicine and study in a tangible study room and still feel like I have that school experience. And that's something, unfortunately, that my girlfriend doesn't have. You know, I tried to get her into the school, and she was able to study there for a couple of times, but once COVID rates and prevalence picked up, they had to kind of close it off to visitors and stuff like that. So it is like not everyone has the opportunity to still have places to go and do work, and that's really like a huge downside, because some people just don't learn good and at home. Like it's so easy not to, because you have such a comfort level at home. I'd probably say one more low would be lack of experience that we've had taken away from our programs as students. We have really you know, whether you take her social work program or you take my college of medicine program, we have had so many opportunities. You've just had so much of the experience kind of stripped away because of the COVID-19 going on right now. She was at Baumhart in downtown Chicago at the Gold Coast area. I mean, it was beautiful out there. Right next to like this beautiful, like, you know, rich car place that was selling like
so that's a graduate
Ferraris.
dorm.
Yes, and it is like so nice there, and I love visiting her. And because of COVID, they had to limit the amount of people, and so she had to move down here, which it turned out everything worked out great, don't get me wrong, but it took away from her experience, and it stripped a lot of college students' experiences from really having these, you know, what makes college, what makes learning fun,
and just like connections with people and relationships that you build throughout your college experience. Just a lot of things have been stripped away for sure.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of things, you know, we've had, I wouldn't say a lot, because the professors and the faculty are doing their best to try to accommodate for this, and I do appreciate that, but, you know, sometimes it's really not enough, and we still feel like we're missing something. But just for example, the professors have worked really hard to allow us to continue our anatomy, to have our anatomy lab in person next semester. So that's going to be really awesome. We're really thankful for that experience too. But that kind of wraps things up for me. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time or Marielle's time. Those were my highs and lows as a first-year medical student. If you guys have any questions, drop it down in the comments. I'm going to pass it over to Marielle.
That was really thorough. I don't know if I'm actually going to go that thorough as Willie did, but I also think it's because it's my second year. It's not my first year anymore, so it's kind of like been more attainable for me this semester, especially since I did more than half of last semester online. So I've been able to adjust more to this kind of new way of learning, I guess, so to speak. I guess I should start off with what I'm specializing in. That's important. So I'm specializing in health, and then I also have a subspecialty in geriatric education. So I do want to work with geriatric patients. I'm one of the few in my cohort that wants to work with geriatric patients. I've just always had a passion for it. You could ask literally anyone and they'll tell you.
Yeah, she loves that, you guys, and that's awesome because you really don't find out.
Right. So for my first year, we kind of went over like the basics of what social work is and kind of giving you a taste of what the field is, versus your second year is more towards your specialty and like the things that you actually want to pursue once you finish the program. This year has been so much, like, it's been hard on Zoom for sure, but I loved being able to have the experience to learn more about geriatrics, as well as just getting the insight and the experience from professors who have been working in this type of field for so long. That's what I've really enjoyed. As far as highs and lows, I would say one of the best highs for me this semester being on Zoom University was that my professors were so easy to contact. They were able to email me quickly. They were able to answer any of my questions. They would give like extensions for deadlines, for paper. If you know any Masters of Social Work students, you'll know that we write a lot of papers. Most of our homework is papers. Like, I think I wrote 15 papers my first year, and I probably wrote about 9 or 10 this semester. So we write a lot of papers, but that's the best way to learn. We're able to, you know, take from our own experience and what we're learning in class and put it together in one paper and really get to reflect on what we've been learning. So one of the highs was definitely getting in contact with our professors and just having them be so open and honest about their issues that they've been having or technical difficulties that they've been having with Zoom, and just being like, having those conversations with us made it like a more honest way of having that relationship between like student and professor. So I really enjoyed that professors were able to just be open and honest with us, and we could just be the same way with them. Because even if we're just college students and we're online all the time, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're all tech savvy. And a lot of professors that I have at Loyola have been there for like 20, 30 plus years, and they've never like in their time of teaching have ever had to do a full class online. So it was all really a learning experience for both of us. So I just really appreciate the fact that both parties were able to have that kind of experience together and try to build and grow with one another.
So while she's thinking, I just kind of want to add one more thing onto that, because I think she made a really good point about kind of just touching on the change in, you know, like how focused everything has been on technology, and some of the you know, benefits that come with that. Because just as a first year medical student, I've just found it interesting how this experience has brought us just so much closer with technology, and allowed us to see like what technology really can do and what options we really do have out here for learning, which are some great ones. You know, like things like office hours and stuff are like relatively non-existent right now for safety precautions and everything. And I just found it really interesting that my school actually created a Google Doc where we can put our questions, huge document with like hundreds of questions. We get our answers back, just like she said, like right off the bat. And I've never seen anything like that. Like as soon as I type my question into the Google Doc, there's like a professor like immediately answering the question. It's almost like, since everything is online and not in person, they just feel like more of an obligation to like help us and like make this like a more smoother transition, because they already know it's hard, and we really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. Professors have definitely been a lot more accommodating, and I would say the professors have also been a little bit lenient. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they have been, and we really appreciate it, honestly, because to be a student during the pandemic and having to do classes online, it's difficult. And I guess that will lead me to a low. For me personally, a lot of my lows this semester have been, like as Willie mentioned earlier, trying to find a place for me to do work. Since I am in Peoria right now, I have my internship, that's one thing, but I don't have a school here that I'm connected to. So really all I have is our apartment and the lounge downstairs. And that's it. All other libraries are closed. You can really only go in to look for books. If you do want to study, you only have like a time span of like 45 minutes, which can't really do much in 45 minutes. And you have to have your mask on, which I understand completely. But it was very difficult for me to find the motivation and to try and discipline myself to do work, because it was just difficult for me to find that motivation, discipline to do anything, because I just was doing nothing for so long, I guess, in a sense, especially like over the summer and things like that, because you just get used to not doing anything, especially during these times. It just gets more difficult, you know, every day. So for me, just having to find a place to even study was difficult, and to feel like, oh, I don't want to do this, or just putting things off and procrastinating until the last minute to do things. And I just had to keep telling myself, like, it's gonna get done, but it won't get done if you don't do it, you know? So another, I guess, high for me would be, if you're struggling with motivating yourself and trying to discipline yourself to do work, time management is key. Get yourself a planner, you know, write in it. Use G-Calendar, that works for Willie. Anything of those like aspects will definitely help you to know like what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it, and when you have to get it done. You know, even though there's a set deadline for a certain paper or homework or whatever it is, set a deadline for yourself, because that will keep you accountable for whatever other work that you may have. Because for me, I don't know if this is for every other school, but for Loyola, before you even register for a class, you're able to see the syllabus, so you already know what assignments you're already going to be assigned. So that has been really helpful for me, because I've been able to look at syllabi for all my professors, for all the classes that I want to take for my second year, and I'm able to just factor in like how much work is going to be per what class, and be able to know already off the bat like what is going to be expected of me. So that's definitely been something that has helped me. And plus, I think there's a lot of syllabus or syllabi out there already. I think if you email your professors ahead of time, they'll probably be able to send it to you, because if anything, they're not new classes, so these classes have already been taught prior years. So I think that's definitely something you guys should look into if you're wondering what kind of workload you'll have for the coming semester. Okay, and one more low that I wanted to add in, especially during these times. I know it's been very lonely for a lot of people, and there have been times where you probably felt alone, and we both can totally understand that, because even though we have the support of each other and it's been great, it's been tough also, because a lot of the times Willie's studying, I'm at my internship, I'm doing homework. You know, it can be very lonesome sometimes, even when you have the support of other people around you. Like I said earlier, we both moved to a whole new town, an area that we both have never lived in before. And although we do have support here, we've met a lot of really cool friends, and we really appreciate you guys so much, especially during these times. It's very lonesome because we both are about 2-3 hours away from home, so we don't see our families a lot, obviously, because of COVID.
And on top of that, it's not really a lot to do in Peoria.
Right, yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of restrictions right now with things that we can do, so that's also something. And we both have been trying to limit exposure, especially since I am interning at a hospital, and Willie is literally just at the apartment and at school. And, you know, he's also exposing himself to other people and students at school as well. So we're really just trying to do our best during these times to stay safe and healthy. And we hope that you guys do the same. On that note, we just want to say thank you for watching this video, and know that you are never alone. If you guys ever need help, you can always reach out to us. I mean, there's also hotlines and mental health clinicians and things like that you guys can also look into. They're always available 24/7, 365 days a year if you ever need someone to talk to. So thank you for watching.
On that note, thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below for my baby right here. She deserves every bit of it with the great advice that she be giving to her viewers on this channel, and I'm very grateful to be here on one of her videos today.
So we'll see you guys next time.
All right, peace.
Bye.